At this point, we've all heard the rumors and reports that Charlie Cox is making his return as Matt Murdock, Daredevil, in the MCU. And this, of course, all started with reports that he was going to be popping up in Spider-Man No Way Home, and still, we don't have confirmation of that, but multiple reliable sources are saying that that is the case. Now, there's also people saying that he's going to be popping up in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series, and also its spin-off, Echo. And now, another place that he could possibly be appearing is the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. This is another project that's been rumored for a while and that Charlie Cox could appear in. And it's one that makes a lot of sense because, well, Matt Murdock is a lawyer. She-Hulk, aka Jennifer Walters, is also a lawyer. And the show has been described as a legal comedy, so we know we're dealing with all the court cases and lawyer and legal stuff. So it makes sense that we would be having another Marvel lawyer show up with Matt Murdock. So, first of all, that alone just makes sense. But now we have another report from Atlanta Filming, which is a source that is all the time bringing us set photos of upcoming MCU projects. And we know that the She-Hulk Disney Plus series is currently filming in Atlanta, which of course is where they get all these set photos from. So most likely they've been watching the set of She-Hulk. And they're now saying that not only is Charlie Cox going to be appearing in this series, but he's going to be suiting up as Daredevil in the yellow and red suit, which is awesome. And for those of you who don't know what the yellow and red suit is, and you've never heard it before, and you're like, why would Daredevil be wearing a yellow suit? Well, originally in the comics when Daredevil was first introduced, he wore a yellow suit. His original costume was yellow and red. He didn't start off wearing the red on red. And it was later on in the comics when he went on to wearing the full red outfit, which of course is the more iconic design for the character. And obviously we never saw him wear this yellow suit in the Daredevil Netflix series because honestly it kind of would have looked ridiculous. But I think it makes sense here for the MCU, especially something like She-Hulk, which has been described as a comedy. And in the comics, like I said, the yellow suit is his original suit. And actually just a couple years ago there was this new comics run called Daredevil Yellow by Jeff Loeb, which actually explained like the canonity of the yellow suit and explain like why he used to wear a yellow suit. And basically it's kind of similar to what we've seen from Spider-Man in the MCU and basically all Spider-Man movies. Well, like he started off with an original homemade suit and then went on to get the professional looking classic design for the Spider-Man suit. And it's the same thing here with Daredevil, where he basically had this yellow suit was his homemade suit, and then he went on to later get his red suit. And in that comics run, it was actually explained that his yellow suit was made out of his father's boxing robe, because of course his father was a boxer, and that led to his death and him getting shot and murdered. So that's an origin for the suit that I really love, and I think makes so much sense. And especially because from what we've heard about Daredevil making his return to the MCU, everything that we've heard about it is that the Netflix series will not be canon. It will be a reboot of the character, just bringing back the same character, hopefully bringing back some other cast members like Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, etc. And I think that makes sense. I'm fine with that. It makes sense that they gotta do what they gotta do. And this would be a perfect way of doing it, because if you see Charlie Cox pop up as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man No Way Home, not as Daredevil, maybe he shows up in Hawkeye, maybe he's Daredevil, maybe he's not, but it makes sense that if this is a reboot of the character, maybe at this point in time in the MCU, he's just starting off as Daredevil, and so that's why he has the yellow and red suit, and then maybe by the end of the She-Hulk Disney Plus series, he realizes, like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be like the devil of Hell's Kitchen, and yellow is really not a very devilish color, so then he decides to go on to get the full red suit, and then that would lead into maybe his own project, which I actually did a video on last week about rumors of a new Daredevil solo series in the MCU, possibly for Disney Plus. So that I think would work out perfectly, and honestly would be so awesome and so cool to see, because again, it just adds more layers to that character, and also just being able to see that suit in live action. No matter how ridiculous it would look, seeing Daredevil go around wearing a yellow suit, it would still be such an awesome homage to the comics, and like just a cool reference, and again, adds in those nice layers, especially with that yellow suit being made from his father's boxing robe. And I think that would just be really, really cool. That's something that they never did in the Daredevil Netflix series that I think would be, like, this is the perfect opportunity to do it in the MCU, especially if they're rebooting the character and starting over fresh, if this is the early years of Daredevil. that could explain why he's wearing this yellow and red suit. And again, I think that would just be awesome to see. I think it's going to look really cool. But of course, this is just a rumor for now. Take this with a grain of salt, consider a rumor. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about these reports that we could be seeing not only Charlie Cox appearing as Daredevil in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series, but he could be wearing the yellow and red suit? So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel